Get Docked, episode 2, where we dare to dock.
Oh my God, dare.
On this episode, we will be talking about Mucho Mucho Amor, the Netflix documentary about Walter Mercado. I am Daphne, and we have Wilson and Nat with us today as well.
Yeah.
So, Walter Mercado, thoughts?
He lit.
Magic, pure magic.
He is a national treasure.
Yeah. He
was.
glitters. He doesn't walk, he glides. His feet never touch the earth.
He was not birthed, but
Not birth, but manifested.
manifested.
Mm-hmm. He is a unicorn among men.
Among people.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Walter. The documentary starts with they introduce us to his life. He lives in a house in Puerto Rico. He's got his assistant who has been with him for years. Mm-hmm. Willie Acosta. Willie does everything. Combs his hair, does his makeup, feeds his dog,
Gets his
gives
vitamins.
him all the vitamins.
All the vitamins.
Oh my goodness.
Like all the vitamins.
All
in
the vitamins
island.
you want.
Yes. If it's in the CVS, it's in that house.
Yeah.
So
all the vitamins, all the time, does everything. Travels with him, shares hotel's room with him.
he's his personal assistant.
Personal assistant. Does absolutely
And
everything.
best friend. Kind of.
Obviously. It seems that Walter, when he really trusts someone, he pretty much brings them into his family, and he thinks of everybody as his family. Unfortunately, that ends up being his downfall in the business.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to.
And everybody like us who might have little, Hispanic and, grandmas
Grandma's.
are all super familiar with Walter Mercado. Walter Mercado was also an astrologist. He foretold the future, he did astrology readings, all that. Read the runes.
He would also do like the little palm readings.
palm
and
reading,
stuff like
palm
that.
readings, anything mystical, I guess is what you would say.
mystical.
He did all of it. And he would do a weekly show. And that's how I got to know him growing up. You did not mess with grandma when she was watching Walter Mercado.
You had to leave the room if you were talking.
Correct. Correct. Or you would get the chancletazo de oro, which translate to the golden slap from the flip-flop.
Not the golden slap,
The
though.
golden slap.
It rained down from the heavens.
Oh.
Do not mess. If you wanted to sit in the only air-conditioned room in her house in Puerto Rico, you had to be quiet and listen to Walter.
Yeah. Everybody stopped what they were doing in the house to listen to Walter.
Yes.
You
The
could be,
kitchen is closed. You are not getting any food from Grandma until Walter speaks.
you could be the most aggro dude on the planet, and you're still going to stop what you're doing, and you're going to get your horoscope.
Your horoscope with Mucho Mucho Amor.
Amor.
Oh.
Gotta roll the hell out of that.
What I didn't know was the background. Some background. They go over his history. So I was not aware of Walter's history as a healer as a child.
Yeah.
So there's a story that I guess his career started early. He was playing outside. A neighbor looked upon him, and there was a bird hurt on the floor. Walter felt that the bird was going to die, so he picks up the bird, and he tells the bird, "You are not going to die today." Breathes the breath of life into it,
Praise on it.
and the bird ends up, I guess, feeling better, flies away. So the neighbor takes this as a sign. Walter has brought a bird back from the dead. We must tell everybody he is a healer. He has been touched by God. And at that point, all the neighbors, all of them show up asking his mom, "Can I touch Walter? Can I talk with Walter?
consent.
Can I see Walter? We
Not a
need
weird
some
way.
healing."
Not a weird way.
So, soon he's got lines of people waiting to see him. I had never heard of this story.
Yeah,
You
this
guys?
Yeah,
was
same. I
fairly
didn't
new
know.
to me also.
So, yeah, he had clout from a young age, man.
I did hear about his soap opera career.
Man.
He studied at the university, he studied dance, he would perform plays, he became a soap opera actor, and at some point, I remember my mom saying she had seen him in the soaps.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it, but they do show some clips. Gotta do it! It's fantastic dramatic acting.
You got to bite the knuckles too.
Bite the knuckles when you're being very dramatic.
Well, this is world-ending stuff here. You got to bite those knuckles.
And it was really cool because he spoke on how supportive his family, his mom was with it being so early, like, I don't know, early on in times, and, you know, there's that stigma, and he would wear all this makeup in the theater, and she's like, yeah, do you?
Yeah, I think some of that had to do with his brother would work in the fields and lived with his dad. Mm-hmm. And he lived with his mother and read and, you know, did a lot of things with that. He was more into, like, the arts and the theater and, you know, having a little bit more of an extravagance and stuff like that. But everybody else kind of just did the normal thing. And I find it very, very awesome that they would, you know, that she would nurture that kind of thing, especially during that time period. This is not something that is relatively, you know, so open nowadays. You know, back then it was like it was 1930s when he was a kid, so like living in the 1940s, you know, being that kind of age at that time period.
Feminine looking
exactly. Like
young man would have been probably frowned upon.
Yeah.
Especially in Latin culture.
Yeah, and I think that during that time period you kind of have to remember like what it was to be in that time period, because, you know, a lot of times we look at things in our eyes now instead of how they were before. So, you know, he's a little bit more of a trailblazer than a lot of people, you know, really give him credit for, because, you know, being able to do that kind of stuff, put yourself out there like that, and he didn't hide it.
He did not hide it. He also felt that he was king. It's none of your business.
Yeah.
He never confirmed what his likes were. He never confirmed what, quote unquote, he was.
Man.
He's just, you know, he's like, this is me.
Yeah,
That's
he just
it.
existed, which was
I
really
am here.
cool.
I love everyone. I love everything. End of story. I am king. None of your business. And, you know, that's a big deal, too. Because a lot of people will get, you know, they get forced into a corner and feel like they have to answer. And he was able to skate through his career. Yeah, they made fun of him.
Yeah.
There were plenty of comedy sketches that made fun of him, plenty of rumors, plenty of stories. But he didn't, you know, I'm sure it bothered him, but he didn't let it show.
Yeah. I mean, he was witty. He had some of those comebacks. It was funny.
Yeah, he did stand up for himself
He
right on
did.
TV. He got the best of it. He always got the last laugh.
He's like, I wouldn't wear those pants.
Well, I think like one thing they kind of hinted at that was something that his mother implanted into him, saying that, you know, it's okay to live a different way. You know, you're not going to be able to live like your brother. You know, you're not like him. So that, you know, already showing that there's a different path is very important for somebody that young, because, you know, the kids are going to make fun of them. The kids are going to say whatever. Kids are horrible. You know, they'll mess with you for any little tiny thing, anything that's different. And for him to be able to come home and just for her to reinforce this path, that's amazing, you know, especially around that time period.
So now we have Walter. He goes, he studies dance. He's, you know, his family is behind him, because even the family members that are still alive, they're very much supportive of him. Yeah. Very loving family. He ends up going to study dance. He's doing plays. He gets invited to go to a television station. They're going to promote the play he's in. He's dressed as a Hindu priest, I think it was. Something like that.
Yeah, it was a Hindu priest.
And they're supposed to be there to promote the play. I assume they're supposed to do some sort of dance or scene, or that was the intention. But at one point, I guess the station manager or somebody on set says, hey, we hear that you're super interested in astrology. And that was all he needed. Yeah. They start asking him questions. So for 15 minutes, instead of talking about the play he's going to be in, He talks about astrology, Sagittarius, Virgo, and moons, and all this stuff.
And Venus.
Venus. You know, he for 15 minutes he talks, and everybody's mesmerized.
Yep.
They finally have to cut to commercial. The station manager apparently is running down to him saying, you have to come back tomorrow. We are getting calls from everybody. You got to do this again, dress the same way, and talk about everything in the stars all over again tomorrow. So that's how he ends up landing his first TV gig. And it ends up being, what, a weekly or a daily thing? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like daily 15-minute segment that they would have just for that, little thing.
The man had charisma when he spoke.
Yeah. And if you have never seen Walter Mercado, like early on, do yourself a favor and Google some of those images, because his features are striking. And when he has like the outfits and the whole getup, you cannot help but not look and listen to what he's saying. He literally just
pulls. A show.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Like his hand movements, his gestures, even when he's saying something, it's always in a positive tone. Yeah. He's not guaranteeing something, but he's just reinforcing that positive things are happening. And people love to hear that kind of thing.
People want to know that good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And he'll say, you may be going through a trouble period now, but the planets are moving and things are changing and it'll get better. You just have to hold on. And you want to hear that positive message. He never said anything bad. I don't remember him ever saying anything negative.
Yeah, and he's not going to be promising a situation, and that's kind of, there's other things that happen later on that kind of forces his hand with certain things. Yeah. But it's always a positive vibe. Like things are going to happen, things are going to go up, they're going to go down, but you're going to be okay. And you're going to be fine. Things are going to work out eventually.
And I wouldn't say that he's religious. He's not tied to any religion. He's spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, he
just like his sexuality in religion, he never picks one.
Yeah. He does pull from a lot of religions, though.
It's pretty much, my great-grandmother had the same kind of view. Like, everything's the same. You got to treat everybody nice. It's all the same when you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think like when you look at a lot of different religions, there are similarities. Even some stories are similar. The names have been changed, the dates have been changed, the people involved, they've changed too, but some of the stories kind of mesh with other things that have happened. And when these stories were developed originally, I mean, everybody was a lot closer together. So these things changed over time and became different segments, and there was different tribes and a lot of stuff. But when we get back to present day, there are similarities. So it's a little bit easier to pick from a buffet of religions when you see similarities.
He tried to unify all of the different religions and theories.
I do think that he did say that he pulled from Hinduism a lot, though.
Yeah.
Like if you, like some of the beliefs in reincarnation. Oh, and with reincarnation, he pulled that from Hinduism, and also the belief that like God is in each person in their own kind of way. It was really cool that he like mixed that with the astrology. And I like to piggyback on what you were saying earlier. He had this like weird, just like vibe that carried through like TV and radio. And it's like this energy that I don't think that a lot of people can like emit like he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that when he got on there, it was, he was able to, hold people's attention. Not only because of like the way that he dressed and the way that he carried himself and stuff like that, but it was a large part of the message that he carried. Because, you could be flashy all you want to on TV.
Yeah.
But then when you carry that message over to the radio, you better be saying something that actually grabs people. Because there's no way that you're going to be seen on radio. So, you have to be saying something that grabs your entire audience. And the fact that it spread over nations, over dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he said something that reached everybody.
And it's interesting because you don't really hear people say anything really negative about him. The only like kind of negative thing is that he's so loving, like that to an extent, which we will get to. Like it ended up, you know, affecting him in a negative way. But other than that, you know, this man just like really believed what he talked about, and I think that's why people loved him so much, because he carried it through in his personal life as well. Like, although he was private, it was still, you know, people around him obviously like really just loved that presence.
Yeah, I think there was a large authenticity to what he said, how he carried himself, how he presented himself to other people. They can be saying horrible things directly to him, and he still is loving.
And he's still sending them love.
Yeah, he's still sending them love.
Like, I receive what you're telling me, but here you go, love back.
Yeah.
And, you know, and whether or not you were familiar with him and you're flipping through the channels, he was wrapped up in a nice presentation. He had the flashy capes, but that's not what made you stay on the channel.
Exactly.
You know, there was flashy capes. It's obvious he came from a dance background because his arm movements aren't normal. Yeah. They're very flowy, and he's dancing with his arms as he speaks, but that's not what made you, that made you stop flipping through the channels. But what kept you there was him. Yeah. What he was saying.
I think that's kind of one of the things that helped him have the long career that he had, is just the fact that he had a formula that everybody knew, they appreciated, and they were able to see him for what he really was. And then when they saw them in him in real life, he wasn't a fraud.
Well, he was kind of like, almost like sainted.
Yeah.
He was like a saint. We didn't, at least if I would have seen him in public, it wasn't necessarily that I prayed to him or anything, but, you know, he was a special person. Yeah. You know, I feel like he was respected like the Pope. At some point, you know, there's the Pope, and then there was Walter.
Well, I think that their roles are different, because I think the Pope is just there for the interpretation of a certain religion and guidance from like the variations of the rules that have already been pre-written. Mm-hmm. For Walter, there was not an island unto itself. He believed in the galaxy, the movement, the stars, the love of everything. You know, he was more like somebody who would be in touch with nature. Mm-hmm. Like, God is everywhere. God is in the rocks. God is in the trees, the rabbits, the this, the that, the whatever. It was more of a multi-presence than anything else. For the Pope, he would be more like interpreting something that's already there, written. This is God. This is that. Da 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 da.
I'm just saying the reverence from
the family.
Yeah, the reverence. The reverence. Like, definitely.
If back in the day, because, you know, R.I.P. Grandma. You know, John Pope II was on TV. Shh. Yeah. Wow. You know, same thing. Walter's done. Shh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or you're getting kicked out of the AC room.
Yeah. AC room. There was, and the thing is, like with Latin cultures, it's very much a mix of those two, because not everybody is just strictly one religion. There's always a mix of indigenous cultures, indigenous beliefs mixed in with the Latin cultures from, you know, Europe and stuff like that.
My family in Puerto Rico, they take from everything. They learn from everything. Yeah. Just like Walter, you know, Puerto Rico, you know, you learn bits and pieces. You're like, I like that. It is now part of my philosophy as well. Mm-hmm. So Walter was very much like that. You know, that's my family. I don't know how it is with your family.
Well, for mine, it's slightly different culturally because of, you know, communism, the lack of, but that still doesn't distract from the religious aspect of being a spiritual person. Mm-hmm. So there was certain aspects that weren't really pushed as hard as most other countries, but we also had spirituality. We still had, you know, the things that we can believe in, but they weren't as prevalent. We also had more into saints and, stuff like that. But when when everybody came over, everything kind of meshed together because, if you've been to Miami or anything like that, there is Cuban, Haitian, Dominican,
Puerto Rico
within like blocks of each other. So there's big melting pots, there's big conversations, there's a lot of things going on. But it was less restrictive. It was more, open to having other conversations and having more dialogue.
For some clarification, a lot of my family's from Puerto Rico, and Wilson, your family's from
Cuba.
From Cuba.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how it was for you. Nat.
Gosh, I mean, I just
because you have a different perspective.
I don't know. I mean, my family's so mixed, and we didn't grow up with religion really at all. I mean, I know that my dad came from super strict Jewish family, and then, well, like in terms of having to go doing Jewish things. And then my mom came from a very Catholic family, and I don't know if it's because they were the youngest of their families that were very big, but when they had kids, they kind of were just like, we're going to let them kind of figure it out, be decent people. And then I did try religion in some churches when I was a teenager, and in, like my earlier 20s. And yeah, I mean, nothing really stuck, but I do like to pull from it. It's more about like finding guidance. But yeah, I mean, I knew Walter like more of it like as a fever dream. So it was more of like a figure to me, but I still have like that respect for who he was and like what he did. But yeah, I guess like religion or anything spiritual was always kind of just interesting because I never really was like growing up around anything like that. It was more just like, yeah, bad luck, good luck, karma, kind of. Just be a good person, do your best. And then if you're into that stuff, well, we can try to like dabble in it, but you're not forced to. So
yeah, I think that's a really good policy as far as not trying to show like. I would like to learn about religions, but I don't want to be forced into, having to deal with or being constricted by certain things like that. And that's kind of where with my mother is still religious, and she, still prays and everything else like that. But most of my family, they're spiritual, but they're not really, confined to, Catholicism or, Christianity or anything like that. But I enjoy that, when I'm around people that they don't have that constrictive, like, okay, well, I believe in this. And, I think the one of the big mistakes about a lot of religions is the process of trying to get somebody else into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's kind of where if you're a little bit more broad about things, it might be a little easier to bring people into certain conversations like that. But that's just my thing.
No, I completely understand that. Like, even with me and growing up, like I had one part of my family, like my uncle and aunt, who they were Jewish on my dad's side, and my cousin, they're still like, carrying that out. But I experienced Shabbat, and I experienced a lot of things within like Judaism, and I think that was really cool, but even with my cousin now, although he has his beliefs, he doesn't judge me for having tattoos, even though he would never, he doesn't judge me for like drinking, even though he doesn't or hasn't ever, and that's the cool thing about like being able to like believe in what you believe in, and like just respecting that works for your life, but it doesn't need to work for somebody else's.
Exactly.
So,
and that brings up a good point about the rules that you apply to yourself should not be, put out for other people to follow. Like, it isn't their religion, so why do they have to go through it? And that kind of enforcement is always where certain religions will always rub me the wrong way. Like, I'm perfectly fine with you believing what you believe in, but when it comes time for like saying, oh, no, you can't do that because my religion says that. It's like, well, I don't believe in your religion, so I can do whatever the hell I want. So,
and that's why Walter was so great, though, because like it didn't matter what your background was. You kind of, respect him for.
You were part of the world,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
deserved love and happiness, and that was all he was trying to give to everyone.
yeah.
Didn't matter. You could believe, God, Allah, Buddha.
the flying
Didn't
spaghetti
matter.
monster.
Yeah.
The spaghetti monster, the Church of the Asparagus. Yes,
Yes.
it didn't matter. You could believe in anything. All he wanted was to pass on a message of love and peace, and that was the greatest thing about Walter. And on that note, let's pause for the cause, and we'll be back.
Word.
Welcome back to part 2, the drama.
Dos.
Oh, not the drama.
Dos.
Now we're on to the drama that ensued in Walter Mercado's life. I was very upset at this point. I got angry.
Yes. There was a lot to get angry about.
How dare you mess with Walter?
I mean, there's... It's not going to go well. This is...
Yeah.
This is where we all show our anger.
Yeah.
So Walter is on TV, and he's doing well.
Living his best life.
Living his best life, passing on peace and love on, once 15-minute segments on a show.
Every day, yeah.
This is before his brand expands. And there's a gentleman of the name of Bill Bakula, right? Did I get that right?
Bill Dracula.
Bill Dracula.
He does suck the life out of Walter.
Bill
He does.
Bacula.
Bill
Dracky boy
Bakula.
here.
Dragon Boy.
Billy boy. Bill
Yeah.
The
pops
opportunist.
up.
Flotty
And he's flipping through his channels one day, and he sees the capes and the glitter and the lights, and he gets sucked into what he's watching and goes, I would like to make a few dollars from this. This I can sell. So within, a couple weeks,
Yeah,
he
couple
puts
weeks.
together a new plan, a new TV show with fancy sets, and he's going to spend all this money so that he can make some money.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You thought it was extra before. It's extra now.
He shows up to Walter, and Walter is a trusting man. He's like, peace and love, and everything good is going to happen. And he goes, Bill, this is a great idea. You're an angel sent from above. I'm all in. Yes, let's spread this message of peace and love across the world. Con mucho, mucho amor.
Yeah, and then he was globally known, which was, it was looking good, which is...
So yeah, the capes got fancier. There was more sequins than on Elvis's jumpsuits. There
Glitter everywhere.
more bigger
So much
rings and
glitter.
Liberace.
Yeah.
We got glitter, rings, opulence, fanciness, all the astrology terms. Gigantic TV show. It's almost like a talk show too. It
Yeah.
looked like. And then on top of that, he also gets a broader market. He's starting to do what? Radio shows.
Yeah.
He does
Radio.
daily radio shows.
Daily international
Yeah.
radio
Dance
shows.
Monkey Dance. You are
Yeah.
working 24 hours a day, Mr. Walter
Yeah.
Mercado. And to make the story even better, Bill's spoiling him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, we gotta fly over here and do the show over here, and I'm gonna fill your room with white roses.
White roses every day.
He says like 20 dozen or something.
20
Yeah.
dozen, yeah.
20 dozen roses. Oh, and you don't eat regular food. Oh, it's caviar.
Yep.
Oh, Walter's living up. He's like, Bill's an angel. He takes
Yep.
good care of me. But what we don't realize is Billy Boy's keeping money, and he's not really paying Walter anything.
He's setting him up. And Walter's just like, okay.
Walter's like, I love the roses. Thank you for the caviar. And his assistant's probably like, yeah, because I get to eat caviar too, because I'm here too, combing your hair.
I mean, he's not really money motivated, is
No.
like what everyone said. So it's like, I'm not surprised that he wasn't noticing.
In his eyes, he's being taken care of.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. In Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rico, the language of love is food.
Yeah.
And it's being taken care of.
Yeah.
Not necessarily money. I didn't come from a super well-to-do family down there.
Yeah.
But grandma loved me. She fed half the neighborhood. She loved everybody. People would come to get food.
Yeah.
This is what Bill's doing. He's giving him food. Here you go. This is love.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, when you're thinking about like Walter doing his day-to-day thing, being moved from one spot to another, limo ride to caviar to flowers to this to that.
Did he have his own plane too at some
Yeah,
point?
he
had his own plane.
You know, I got a plane.
And that's the thing, like when you're doing all these things, you're under the assumption that the money's already in the bank because you're moving from one opulent thing to another. It wasn't like he can pop open his cell phone and check his bank account.
It's very true.
He was under the assumption that the money was already in the bank.
He's assuming that this person that he's let into his life and he sees as a family member is taking care of him.
Yeah.
Very trusting.
He's moving from one really nice thing to another really nice thing while he's doing his day-to-day stuff. So how could you not already assume that these things are already moving forward, that everything is blowing up and there's nothing but love. And he's, obviously chosen the right path because things are just going forward.
That's true. And he was doing something that he loved to do, like I feel like he isn't money motivated and then he's getting taken care of and he's doing something that he's loving, spreading love, spreading peace, spreading hope.
Yeah.
And yeah, why would you think that somebody would be taking advantage of that? But, one harsh reality is that that's not how people are. Not everybody, at least.
So at this point, we have a show.
Yeah.
We've pulled the curtain over Walter's eyes. And at this point, a contract is drawn up and set in front of Walter. Walter, we are going to do even more with your brand. You are going to be amazing. We're going to have a Psychic Friends network, 1-800 number. You're going to be like in markets in Brazil, the US, everywhere. We're going to do all this wonderful stuff to spread your message of peace, love, and happiness. Forever. And Walter's like, I just want everybody to know love.
Yeah.
I am in. They give him a contract. They're like, read it carefully. I will read it, man. He gives it to whoever. Like, I don't know, was it who was supposed to read it for him?
I think it was his assistant.
Was it Willie?
I don't know, but somebody, they didn't read it.
They dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball.
If they read it like me reading a novel at 10 p.m. where I read 2 pages and I fall asleep like a sloth.
You start rereading it, the same sentence.
As somebody that would be like Walter, when you get to that point and you have that much attention on you, you need to read it.
That's so true.
And there's no way, like as soon as I see a limo or anything like that and my name is on something, I'm reading everything. I'm hiring a lawyer so they can read it too. I want to make sure what I'm thinking is what they're thinking and we're meeting in the middle. Because I can't, there's always the story of the artist who gets taken out by the contract.
And that is exactly what happened here, man. Yeah. It's like that South Park episode, The Human Centipede. Read your Apple terms conditions, man.
Well,
do not agree to it.
Don't agree to it. They just made him into a human centipede. So basically, he gets handed this contract. He hands it to somebody to read. They're like, looks fine to me. They must have just read the page numbers. And 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Good.
You're in order. We're good. Con mucho amor. Oh, it said that there. Fantastic. We're set. Walter says, fine, everything's fine. I'll sign it. Signs it. And then he's really not getting paid. Yeah. He's working his tushy off, not getting paid. And people are now noticing the money not coming in.
Yeah.
Why are you working so hard? Aren't you getting paid? And Walter's like, no, it looks like I'm not getting paid. What is going on?
But and that's kind of what also shows, like what I was saying before, is the time lapse from him like going from places to then realizing it's like, wait a minute, where's the money? Like, how long did that process take?
Yeah, because some of that stuff stopped.
Yeah, so
the opulence, the show stopped. Well, they got what they wanted. They don't have to spoil him anymore.
Exactly.
He signed it away. And what did he sign? He signed his brand, his image, his life, his work, his previous work, his future work, till the end of eternity, away to a company who was owned by who?
Mr. Dracula.
Bill Bacula. Dracky boy.
Bacula. Senor Bacula.
He owned everything.
Yeah.
And he wasn't planning on paying Walter much of anything. Because why would you? It's all his.
You know, and that's kind of like the predatory, papers that they try to get these artists to sign when they're younger. But like this was like during the height of his career. So this is kind of a slight change from like the young artist blowing up and then not owning anything to Walter, which was already on his rise, then getting everything taken away from him. But not just whatever he's currently making, future, past, like his entire existence was taken.
His whole catalog.
Yeah.
He didn't have control over anything at all.
Like, how was this a legal document? Like, how...
Oh, and then the best part of the documentary, this man shows up.
Yeah.
He's interviewed and he's in the documentary.
Not
you have
remorseful.
to see this guy talk. He doesn't care.
No.
That was the contract. He signed it. End of story.
Yep.
What do you want me to do about it?
Exactly.
And it was just so sad because he didn't even care about like maintaining the image. Like Walter talks about how he used like old horoscopes as like new horoscopes and recycled
because
his
Walter
work.
at some point was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, fine, I don't need you. I have your whole catalog. We'll just reuse. Copy paste. Problem solved. And for someone who has built a brand on being authentic, built a brand on trying to be truthful and to spread love and happiness and truth and all that jazz, all of a sudden now it's just BS.
Yeah.
Copy paste some like horoscope from 20 years ago. You're welcome.
Exactly.
And he had no choice. He had no decisions in it because he signed everything away.
And it must be like really devastating if you think about it, just because Bill did, show him so much love. So I can't even think about like the emotional aspect.
Yeah.
Like, dang, like this guy really manipulated me for like a long time over like a long period of time. I'm thinking this person cares about me. I let him be part of my family. He's so close to me. I don't think he'd ever do something to hurt me, because you did talk about how Walter was a little bit older, but then, he, functioned off of like how people treated him, and then he got duped. And it's just really sad to see somebody who's just so like, I don't know, such a great like person and just shows so much love that there really is somebody out there who is still willing to exploit that, know?
Well, it's when you see when he walks into Walter's life, it's basically Walter at a local level. And then he sees the potential in it, takes him to an international level, and he has that contract in his back pocket the whole time.
Oh, it was planned from day one.
For sure.
For sure.
He went in there with the idea of manipulating the situation. Walter saw him as someone trying to help him, and he was like, I can do something with this and fill my pockets.
Yeah.
They even talk about how they ended up in court over it, because Walter's like, this isn't fair. Maybe I can try to rehash the contract.
Yeah.
So they go to court, and even the documentary, what is it, Bill says, oh, I was only suing him over $1.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is how crazy this guy is. Like, I was only suing him over $1 to teach him a lesson, basically.
Yeah.
And then you have another attorney pop up and go, that wasn't true. He was suing Walter for like 15 mil.
14 mil?
Yeah, 14
point something mil, yeah.
The idea that it was just like, an argument that was over, just some little thing that he was trying to sweep under the rug, that whole dollar incident, is completely laughable. The amount of impact that Walter had, and the thing is, like, you can only carry like remixes for so long. You're not going to be able to drain that anymore.
And if you're damaging the brand by reusing stuff,
people are going to stop watching.
the brand was built on authenticity.
Yeah.
And you're killing that.
Yeah.
And at some point, people are going to realize. And the problem is that they think that it's Walter doing stuff.
Yeah.
That hotline was a sham.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, Walter was basically the spokesperson for a psychic hotline. You know, we've all heard the scam stories. You know, it might be the waitress down the street pretending to be a psychic.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Well, that and like,
and they're using his name. He didn't have control over that. If he had known, I'm pretty sure Walter would have been like, no.
Yeah.
He at the beginning was answering some of those calls.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so he was all in on it. But then after a while, he can answer billions of calls.
He got on there and advertised that the other psychics were, you know, top notch and everything else like that. But I think when news started coming around that they were promising things, you know, that's what kind of got him mad about that whole situation, because that was kind of his whole gimmick to begin with, was don't promise.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, don't lead these people to think that, you know, this is going to happen at a certain time. This is going to happen. You know,
you're going to get married.
Exactly. You're going to get married
2 months after you have the baby.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
that was wild.
It's like, don't make promises. We're supposed
Life is not promised.
Exactly. Spread love, you know, happiness, you know, things
Tell
are
them
going to...
things will get better and make a turn, but don't sit there and say,
give timelines.
In 2 months, you're going to get married. After 2 months of having the baby, well, I'm not even pregnant. Well, get on it, girl.
Exactly.
You ain't going to be happy.
Hey, you got a couple months to go, so, you know...
get going, bro.
Yeah, or else you're going to have to call us back at like $4.95 a minute, so, you know. But I think that's kind of where... you know, it drew his attention, was like, okay, they're promising things. People are getting mad. I'm going on to these shows, still trying to talk about these things, and people are upset. So why
and
are
that's
people...
not what I wanted.
Exactly.
I wanted people to feel good. That's not my message.
Yeah.
And it took a toll on him, like, in his health.
It was a physical toll.
Physical
toll,
and
mental. You know, that was his whole being.
Yeah.
I mean...
and, you know, that much trust getting taken out, you know, around that time, I mean, he was with him for like, what, almost 20-something years at that point?
I think so.
So, I mean, somebody who just turns around and steals everything and takes you to court and talks like that guy does in a documentary, I wouldn't leave my house for 20 years either.
What was it that he said? He said no regrets about
no
regrets about anything he did.
Yeah.
It was business.
Yeah. And that's,
no, thank you, bro.
You're with
somebody.
You're with somebody that long. You give them that much opulence, your roses and caviar.
Shows you that it was fake.
Yeah.
His affection towards Walter, lavishing him with gifts, it was all fake. It was a plan, and he got what he wanted. Once he got what he wanted, he was out. Yeah. I'm done. I've got the money. I'm taking it and running.
Yeah.
So now you have Walter completely defeated. I don't remember what the outcome to one of the court battles was, but I think it was kind of like a draw in one, but there were many court battles because it was all over the world. You have one in Brazil, you have one in the U.S. It basically ended Walter's career early at the top, at the height of his career. It's over.
And I think that if he would have just rewritten the contract, I
mean, that's being super greedy.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Bill being super greedy. Why?
But the thing is, if he would have rewritten that contract, he could have made more money.
He could have.
He could have.
Because Walter was at the height of his career. He could have rewritten the contract, split it right down the middle, 50-50, because he was going international with everything. So if you go 50-50 all across the world at the height of his, success, it's nothing but money, but he spent half the money that he was getting from him fighting him in court. So how is that even a good financial situation to be in?
It's not.
It's not.
And it's not even like...
And it ended everything early, because could you imagine, we grew up watching Walter Mercado.
Yeah.
We grew up watching him. People our age have kids. We don't. But people our age have kids. And, if Walter was still around, they'd be growing up with him.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
It would have been a longer career. It would have been like a Weird Al career. Because that's how, I am of the mind that's how Weird Al is so popular now. There was a generation that watched him. Then that generation's kids watched him. And then that generation's kids. And now he's like, everybody knows who he is. That's Walter.
Yeah.
And he could have had a bigger following.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, his greed was so short-sighted that all he had to do was redo the contract, pay Walter whatever his minimum payment was, still walked out with millions of dollars, and then he would still do the same show.
Instead, the show ended in 2006.
Yeah, 2006. He pulled the
Last
plug on it.
episode, man.
When
So sad.
Yeah, I mean, but at that point, they were reaching other parts of the U.S. that have never seen that before. They were reaching, all these other
talk
countries.
about all the places he ended up. He ended up back in the day on Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah.
He ended up on the Howard Stern show. Even Howard Stern had him on his show. Like, the man had reached fame.
Yeah, during the 90s.
Even Geraldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and that's the thing. Like, if he would have just calmed it down a little bit, readjusted himself, and then just redid a contract.
And hadn't been blinded by his greed.
Yeah. He would have been way farther along. Walter would have been happy, with the situation.
I don't think it would have taken much to make Walter happy.
No. Yeah, it obviously wouldn't.
Walter was like, I just need money to buy food. He wasn't asking for millions. He was asking for what he was owed.
Yeah.
Give him good food, capes, and a nice place to live.
But I mean, even with the lifestyle that he had before he passed, it doesn't take that much to keep that lifestyle going.
No.
So, he still could have made money while having him do like a thing at home. He had the throne at the house. He did.
He had all his capes.
Yeah.
Like, he had everything he needed.
He literally could have been making these things till the day he passed, without having any real effort done. And it was so short-sighted of,
Bill?
freaking, Barbara Cole over here.
Not Barbara.
I can't stand that guy, but I mean,
Mr. Bakula.
yeah, Scott Bakula. It was short-sighted, and it deprived almost an entire generation of not even knowing who this guy was. Yeah. Somebody that gave so many people hope and happiness.
And he would have given a new generation even more because of how androgynous
Yeah,
he was.
Oh yeah.
And how he just was the king of none of your business.
Yeah.
He wanted equality for everybody. He wanted peace and love for everybody. And I feel like he would have been very relevant in today's
for
society.
sure.
And I think he would have been an icon.
I mean,
he would have been.
I think he is now, but he would have been a bigger icon.
Yeah, I think the thing is also, there is many things that he represents that covers a lot of ground that's all more relevant now than it was before. And, to rob, newer generations of what he was doing when he was doing it, it forces his name a little bit more underground. Or, being in love the Latin community, we know him. Yeah. And we will pass his name on. But
he's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
my nieces and nephew, con mucho mucho amor to all of them.
Exactly. They know it. They've heard it. They will get the fucking. They will get the sandal. But that's the thing. Like, all these other cultures, they try to bring something like that, but it's not him.
That's true.
It's not, because I mean, like some of the Indian cultures, they have the the guys with all the big beads and the big beards and stuff like that. And they always try to come off like peace, love, and everything else like that. It's kind of like that, but
a guru.
Gurus. Gurus. Thank you. It was eluding me for a second here, but yeah, gurus. They come in there, they try to preach the whole thing, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that and drink
peace,
a whole bunch
love,
of
and
water.
happiness.
Yeah. But Walter was like that
embodiment of it,
with like a bomb going off, like just a giant glitter bomb with
a cape.
Yeah, I mean, it was magic in a bottle, and everybody knew it. And that's the thing. That's what gurus want, but they don't have, is that flash, that bang,
charisma, that energy, the love.
And that's kind of what pushed him in front of everything. They got to
get better cape makers.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's interesting also about the dynamic between Bill and Walter, if you think about it, Bill was just like the complete opposite of Walter. So it's kind of mind-boggling that he would kind of fall for somebody like that, because even when he talks, Bill's just like, no personality.
Man.
Wears all gray and like, there's nothing, like it's just like just
no redeeming value.
yeah, just like takes in things while like Walter like is just bright and he like emits all this like positive stuff.
Well, that
And-
goes to show you how trusting
Yeah.
he was.
But Bill's like he's just a black hole. He's just like I talk like this. I don't smile or frown.
Well,
No regrets.
No regrets. I'm a robot.
beady beady.
Beep, boop, boop.
Beep, boop, beep.
He's a robot. It's so weird. You have like this like alien, like amazing, beautiful person, and then you have like this soul sucking robot.
Zero
black
zero
hole.
one one one. Binary solo.
00111. Oh, oh, oh. Now what I think it is, it's the talented Mr. Ripley. He is a completely different person when he was with Walter. Because when you see them in the younger days together, you know, they were both like laughing and smiling kind of thing. He wasn't like a stone cold robot. He was a robot when he probably dropped that contract. But like before that, he was sugary flowers and roses and airplanes and limos, and you're going to have the best of everything.
Unicorn tears.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, but I mean, that's, you know, he pulled it off like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And then he looked over and gave him the finger when he was walking away. That's,
Yeah, pretty much.
The
He's
worst
just
part of
like,
it.
oh, you thought I was happy and fun like you? I'm going to go pull out my gray suit and show you how boring I can be.
yeah,
Rude.
he's gonna pull out that diamond plated credit card and
Oh,
blow
yeah.
through his entire net worth in like a year.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's just so strange. And also even with like the difference in authenticity, like obviously we saw that Bill's a liar because he's just like, oh, I only sued him for $1. And
$1. All this
Yeah.
trouble for $1.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah,
And then you have the like super authentic, kind of naive Walter, and it's just so sad. And I'm just like, dang, you were like complete. You just canceled each other out, you know, literally just
Yeah.
poof, you know.
I think that the one thing that Walter needed in that whole situation, he needed somebody in there to be like, dude, I got red flags coming out of everywhere.
He needed
A lawyer.
someone that was going to take care of the business side of things for him, that was trustworthy.
Yeah.
Obviously his personal assistant was not the person,
No.
but he needed someone that was
Like
just
first.
as invested in Walter as his person. He needed like the business Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately he did not have that person.
Hmm.
And
I think
Bill
that's-
ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, he definitely
Don't
redecorated.
sue us, Bill.
Huh?
Don't sue us, Bill.
Oh no! I mean, he doesn't. Well,
I know. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, you know, he let's just say he redecorated the bed. He could have done a whole lot more by doing a whole lot less.
And
You
I
know.
think you're completely right. He was short-sighted.
Yeah.
was short-sighted.
I mean, if you want to make more money from somebody who's already at the top, just keep the other person happy and keep the money rolling. Instead, you're going to throw them into a courtroom. You're going to blow all this money fighting against the person who's supposed to be giving you the money. Like, what good are you going to do by just pressing reruns? Eventually, people are going to realize that this is the same stuff that they watched 5 years
Didn't I
ago.
see this 30 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're gaslighting
Someone turned
people.
the
Yeah.
clock back.
You're like, no, this
Walter
is new.
looks super young today.
Yeah, he must be like 60 something right now, and he's glowing. You know, and that's the thing. Like, for being such a cutthroat businessman, he basically just redecorated his own bed. That's all he did. He basically just dropped it and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the victor." I'm like, "Yeah, of only something that you can redo for the next like maybe 5 years." But if you would have kept him happy,
Like he would have been going until he died.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have been like the funeral of funerals.
Because he was happy with what he was doing. He made people happy. He went out to the public and hugged and kissed people.
Oh yeah, he wasn't
and
above anybody. That was beautiful.
he
man.
he lived what he was saying. And even if it was complete mumbo jumbo that most people don't even understand, he at least came out there and was giving positive energy and vibes and you know, giving people hope. And you wake up in the morning, and that's one of the first things you want to do is just have some hope.
I also think that he was relatable because he didn't take on labels either.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, yeah, that made him,
Yeah.
you're 100% right, relatable to everybody. Because
Yeah.
he didn't pick a team.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
His team was everyone.
Yeah, and that's what made him available to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you were the most hateful person on the planet, he still loved you. No matter what you felt like, no matter what you did, no matter what you're into, no matter it doesn't matter. All it is tomorrow I'm going to feel better than I did today. Mm-hmm. And that's what most people want. They don't want to, some guy on the phone telling you that you're going to be pregnant in a month. Like, no, just let me get to tomorrow and make it better than it was today. That's all it is.
All right. So we're going to take a little pause and we'll come back with the conclusion and sad ending.
Sad.
And our final thoughts on Walter.
Yeah, glitter.
Glitter, con mucho amor. We'll be back.
Mucho amor.
Hi, we want to take a moment to thank you for tuning into this episode of Get Docked. We appreciate your support and hope that you will find our discussions informative and engaging. Please be sure to follow us on Facebook to stay up to date on the most current information about our podcast and upcoming episodes. Please also remember to subscribe to our episode. Every little bit helps. Feel free to send us a message on our Facebook page or via email, getdockpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you and hope that you will continue to listen. On to the conclusion of our episode.
Welcome back. Now, on to the conclusion of the documentary.
I'm ready.
I'm not.
My tear
Sit
ducts.
down, breathe in,
Breathe out.
breathe out. Oh, Walter. So the end of the documentary kind of is happy and sad at the same time.
Yes.
We see Walter back in his apartment. We've moved on. He's injured himself.
Yes. And this is, I don't mean to cut you off, sorry, but when he was like, what, 80 something?
He was 87 when he passed away.
87. So we're thinking probably like 86-ish is when he got hurt.
Yeah.
So
He pulled a Daphne and fell a couple times.
yeah, and the thing is, when you're older, and everybody's had like grandparents that get older and stuff like that, but like the very minute things that wouldn't really faze you when you're younger are almost catastrophic when you're that age. Okay. Just a simple bump, a simple fall, something that, you wouldn't really, like, oh, I got my bumps and bruises.
it was accidents that happened to everybody. And like I said, like me, I've gotten caught up in my bed sheets and fallen out of the bed.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened to Walter.
Yeah.
The first fall, he got caught up in the bed sheets, fell, injured. What was it? There was a couple fractures.
Yeah, there was a fracture.
His one of his vertebrae was misaligned.
Yeah.
And, causing constant pain and pressure on the nerves in his back. So just the simplest things of walking was just
and then he
constant
fell
torture.
again in the shower.
Exactly.
Probably because he was in pain.
Exactly. So, things like that are just, they're harder to avoid. They're easier things that happen. And even when he has an assistant with him at all times, these things will happen, and they could be almost life-changing right then and there.
And you definitely see him hurt in his bed, and it hurts, man. It tugs on your heartstrings. You're like, Walter. And you see how loving his family is, though. They're doting on him. They're taking care of him. And he's grateful for all the help.
Yeah.
And then you move on, and he gets contacted, by an organization that's going to have an exhibit about his career. They're going to celebrate his 50 years in the spotlight. That is a long career. The longest I've been at a job was, 7 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's like 50 plus, because they even had stuff from when he was in theater.
Oh,
Well, they even had his childhood pictures.
They did.
Yeah.
So if you really want to go far back, like Walter of the Miracles was there.
Exactly.
That's true.
And it's amazing to see him seeing this exhibit about his life, and he's so grateful for it. And after being out of the public eye for a few years because of all of the drama, Bill.
All the drama.
All of the drama, Bill.
Oh,
Billy boy.
Bill. No, Bill.
Anger.
Say no to Bill, man.
But because of all the drama, he was out of the public eye for a while. He wasn't on TV. He wasn't able to spread his message the way he wanted to. Yeah. You could tell that he missed it, and it brought tears to his eyes. He was super grateful. You got to see his capes. You got to see people who value his life like we do. I mean, I'm super jealous of some people. Lin-Manuel Miranda. Who got a cape? Okay. Yes, I am super jealous of Lin-Manuel Miranda because he's living my best life. He got to meet Weird Al. He got to meet Walter Mercado. We are jealous over here.
So jealous.
Lin-Manuel, reach out to me, bro.
So jelly.
Puerto Rico.
So jelly. So jelly.
Do you need a saxophone player?
Oh my gosh.
Lin-Manuel. For the love of God. Anyways.
Please contact her.
Con mucho, mucho amor.
She needs this.
I need some help, bro.
Bruh.
Bro. But yeah, no, he's living his best life. The one I want. But Lin-Manuel shows up everywhere I want to be. He meets Walter, gets a cape from Walter with the flag on it, which is like ultimate, like super duper Puerto Rican level.
Well,
like
he didn't get the cape. It floated from the sky into his hands.
It just appeared.
Into Lynn's
He pulled
hand.
it
It was
out
a
of the
secret
universe.
Puerto Rico level I didn't know existed.
It came out of
The ultimate.
out of pure nothingness. It just arrived into his hands with the flag.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Con mucho, mucho amor.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
But he's gushing, he's fangirling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would.
As anyone would.
All of us.
Yeah.
Which must have been nice since, like, I feel like, he might have thought that he wouldn't be as relevant,
Yeah.
especially by like 2019, there's even young people. There were like younger kids there, which was cool to see. And also by this time, not only are they celebrating his life, he did, finally get his name back. He did end up, going through all of that horrible legal stuff and finally getting his name back, which is super great. So,
But not after he ended up at the was it a heart attack?
heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole legal mess did land him in the hospital.
It did.
It took its toll. He had a heart attack, ended up in Cleveland.
Out of all places.
See the angels.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm in heaven. They're like, no, you're in Cleveland.
Best part.
Yeah.
But yeah, you finally see him get the recognition. You see people our age
Yeah.
who grew up watching him as a kid go, oh my God, yes, Walter, you're still around. We love you.
Yeah.
And I really do think he would have been a bigger icon for
Yeah.
today's society for many different groups.
I think that when they took away those like 10, maybe almost 15 years, that would have been a lot of ground to easily cover to pass things on. And our generation did what we could. That's why a lot of these people still know who he is. And luckily some of our parents are still here to understand the relevance of who he was.
And super grateful to this documentary that's going to continue that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if these people hadn't done this documentary, would anybody really had known what happened? I didn't know what happened.
Oh yeah, for sure. He kind of just disappeared
He
one
just
day.
kinda disappeared.
You're like, oh,
Well, and another thing is when all this stuff happened, the problem with having somebody like Walter who existed and who brought this much, joy into the world and everything else is there will never be anybody like him again.
No, I think that was a once in a lifetime
And that's the thing, like
For sure.
personality.
like nobody is the way that he came in, the flash, the bang, the love, the caring, the amount of people he touched. That's the sad thing is that's never going to happen again.
And how pure he was.
Yeah.
And also, not even only that, just like, you know, he won't, like, no one will be able to go through the time periods that he's gotten to experience. Like, that's kind of wild, like, to not only go from the 30s, but, like, he's experienced literally all the major, you know, time periods, and he got to see the world change, and he stayed relevant for
That
quite
is
a
a
long
good
time.
point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's been around. He's seen it. He's seen the world change a lot. And he's kind of here like, yeah, this is chill.
Still peace and love.
Peace and love. You know, no matter what, you know.
And shout out to the directors, which I finally looked up their names. Christina Constantini and Kareem Tabish.
Yeah.
Assuming I didn't ruin
Butcher
their
that.
names.
And butcher anything.
So sorry.
It's with
Thank
mucho,
you
mucho
to-
more.
Con mucho, mucho amor. Thank you to both of you for bringing this story. I truly enjoyed it. And final thoughts, I can tell you, I still remember going into the one air-conditioned room in Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico. Wepa! You know, when it's like 1,000,000,000 degrees and sitting there with my grandma and her telling us, shh, chancletazo. You know, if you talk, you're out of the room. You know, Walter speaking and hearing Arias. And then listening intensely to see what's going on for me as an Aries. I don't know how your memories.
Mine, like I said, I mean, I was really young. If you think about it, his show stopped when I was 9 years old. So
I'm so old.
yeah, I mean, you're not that old. I'm just
YouTube him, Matt.
slightly younger.
YouTube him.
I'm just slightly younger. So most of my memories are just like, you know, like fever dream-y type of stuff. Like I still remember
You
him.
remember the capes.
Yeah, I do. I remember like, yeah, what he looked like more than what he said.
He looked like grandma.
yeah.
Grandma and grandpa. A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
And I'm sure you have your memories.
Well, I have tons of memories of him. My grandmother loved him. My mom loved him. Like everybody in the house loved him. He carried a message. He had a certain just impact that just silenced everything else. He was always the brightest light. And that's what, you know, made me feel, you know, like there was a lot more to him than just anything else. And another thing I kind of wanted to brush on just a little bit was the end of his the where he actually showed up at his
Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on
Exactly.
that when he
So-
showed up to the exhibit
When he
and
showed
the
up-
warm welcome
yeah.
he
Exactly.
received.
all of his friends, the people that, you know, knew him, all like his fans. He was brought in on a throne. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
Golden throne.
golden throne. He was able to see his entire life.
And get that appreciation for his whole career, which you don't very often get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you been appreciated at any of your jobs and brought out in the throne? Been like,
No.
you're awesome. Thank you for coming to work today.
No.
He got that.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't get appreciated until they're already gone. And for you to live your entire life with love and happiness and giving that to so many people every single day, and then finally being able to get appreciated
And get that.
and
Yeah.
get that, very
He was present.
exactly.
Yeah.
He was of mind.
Yeah.
He was there. He got to feel that love.
And very few people will ever
Experience
get to that point.
Yeah.
But the thing, like how I feel about him was he did so much good in his life that he was allowed that.
Of course. Yeah.
Because of the things he did, he was given that opportunity because of all the things
That was
he did.
probably the most beautiful part of
Yeah,
the
it
documentary.
Because
And I know you went down to Miami where the exhibit was, and very sad that it's already gone.
It's
It's
already
not
gone.
there.
Oh yeah.
but the thing is,
Someone put it back up.
Please.
but he's always gonna be in everybody's hearts. That is ever anybody who's ever turned into listen to him or see him or anything like that. He's there, you know. But I'm glad that he was able to get appreciated while he was still alive.
Yeah, that
Because that kind
He
of
deserved it.
solidified. Yeah. So,
after all of that mess,
ma'am,
because I'm sure that he felt like his work had been taken for granted and that nobody appreciated it for how long after that whole mess. And to finally realize, no,
I think
we all appreciate you. Where have you been?
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. Did you?
Well, I think that at that time, he's the one who needed love.
Yeah.
Oh, he really did.
He's the one who he gave so much to everybody, and this was the time to repay some of that. And I'm glad that he was able to be there for that, because you spend your entire life digging away at stuff. And
it was beautiful because you could tell how happy he was taking
sure.
pictures with his fans,
Yeah.
posing in the golden throne,
Yeah.
you know, looking at his life's work. They even do a very intimate tour of the exhibit where it's just him and Willie going through his exhibit. And he's like, those are my childhood photos. And, oh, they have this. Like, you can see how much it touched his heart.
it was
And you're right. I think you were 100% right when you said that at that time he needed the love.
yeah.
And I think that the timing's really interesting as well, because it's like, it's almost like he waited around for that, because he did talk about, like, I'm not really afraid of death. But then it's like, you know, will I ever see that appreciation? It's like he got that appreciation. He finally got that love. And then he's like, yeah, like, I'm good, you know?
time to go.
Yeah, he, like, reminisced in it. Like, you know, he was still around for a couple more months. And then, yeah, he was kind of like, that's all I
he
needed.
did. He passed away shortly after.
I think it was like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah.
Which is wild. I think, you know, it's just like, yeah.
He needed it. And, you know, he was sent off in a blaze of love.
The best way possible.
That's amazing.
That's the most we could ever hope for.
For sure.
Oh, Walter. We miss you.
Every
Rest
day.
in peace.
Yeah.
I guess with that, we leave the podcast con mucho, mucho amor.
Mucho, mucho amor.
Wait, no. You got to do it with the kids. Con mucho, mucho amor.
Paz, mucha paz, pero sobre todo mucho, 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 mucho amor.